Hello and welcome back to SCI Teach. This is a specimen analysis for biology, NECO 2024 and biology practical. Okay, so we're going to, as usual, analyze the specimens and then group them and discuss them together, as the question will be comparing or contrasting combination of these specimens. So do well to get your pen, books or paper, because we are in for a ride. Remember to subscribe to this channel to have access to more enriching lessons. Okay, so we will start by analyzing specimens A and B. Specimen A is onion, a bulb of onion, and specimen B is ginger, a rhizome. Okay. Now, the rhizome and bulb are examples of underground stem modification. You see, ginger is example of rhizome, while onion is example of bulb. Okay, so I'm just classifying them now. Ginger is a rhizome in class. Onion is a bulb. All right. Now, a rhizome is a well-developed underground stem. If you look at ginger very well, you will understand what I'm going to say now. That the shape of rhizome is irregular and flattened. Usually, rhizome grows horizontally. They don't grow vertically. It grows horizontally. You can imagine a ginger. It grows horizontally. The rhizome itself. The rhizome is the part that looks like the roots. The tuber, something like that. Okay, but they are stems. So the rhizome grows horizontally, and it bears nodes and antinodes or internodes. It has nodes and has internodes. All right. So in rhizome, you see structure like eye, that are formed where the formation of new stem takes place. All right. So a new plant can grow from the nodes. All right, and the internodes. So the rhizome contains terminal buds, buds, and auxiliary buds also. So it will, help in developing into branches, which will grow upward into the air and produce, normal foliage leaves. All right. So the main functioning of the rhizome is that the food material is stored in the entire stem and branches of the plant. Okay. So I've already said that the example of rhizome is ginger. Now let's discuss the onion, which is a bulb. A bulb is also an underground modified bud, but this one has a reduced stem and a fleshy, scaly leaf that grows from it. So a bulb is a short underground stem with inner, fleshy, and dry from outer leaves. Okay. In the bulb, the stem reduces to a conical disc, and then the adventitious roots are produced on the lower side of the stem. All right. Now there are two types of buds or bulbs. We have the tunicated bulb and the scaly bulb. This onion we are discussing is a tunicated bulb. Now, when the leaves are arranged in concentric form and covered, by a thin paper-like, covering to protect the bulb, the bud, the what is inside, that is known as a tunic. Tunic, if you want, tunic, Tunic. That's how an onion is. So onion is a tunicated type of bulb. The other one, which is scaly, is the garlics. Garlic is scaly. The scaly leaves do not have the common center. Okay, their leaves are small and they're separated and narrow. Okay, so onion is a tunicated bulb because it has tunics. All right. Now remember that sometimes auxiliary buds can produce a daughter bud or bulb. In the case of garlic. So the functioning of the bulb is food storage, in the skin or the scaly leaves like onion. Right? Now understand that the nodes, nodes, are the part of the stem in which leaves are present, while the internodes are the space between two nodes. The node is where the leaves are present, and the distance or the space between two nodes is an internode. All right. And remember that the main function of the scaly leaf is to provide protection to the auxiliary bud, right? Bud. So now basically let's compare the onion with the ginger. So let's compare a bulb with a rhizome. All right. So rhizome versus bulb, sorry, something like that. So under rhizome, you see that rhizome is a thick underground stem, while bud is in bulb the stem is reduced. In rhizome, it is irregular and flattened, but bulb is globe shaped. Rhizome contains nodes and internodes, while bulbs, nodes and internodes are not present, so they are absent. In rhizome, the food is stored in the entire rhizome in the form of starch, while in bulb, the starch is stored only in the scaly leaves. Alright? And the example of rhizomes, ginger, lettuce, and asparagus. An example of bulb is garlic, tulip, onion, etc. Now, specimen C is Irish potato, the tuber of Irish potato. So we are considering specimen C now. Now, what are the observable features that is of biological importance in Irish potato? You see, it has a swollen stem. That's a stem, is a tuber. It has a swollen tuber, and that's of economic importance. That's what you eat. And then it has bud. Buds are present. It has lenticels. It has scale leaf and adventitious roots. Okay, and Irish potato is classified under stem tuber. Okay, now why are we classifying Irish potato under stem tuber? Now I want to point out this. It's the easy part is for you to look at a specimen and identify it. Let's say a simple specimen like mango fruit is kept on your exam table, and you're asked, it's labeled maybe specimen N. You're asked, identify specimen N. It's easy for you to look at it and say specimen N is a mango fruit, right? Because you would think, well, everybody knows how mango looks like. This is a mango fruit. Now that's the easy part. The examiner is not foolish to ask you that kind of a simple question. They ask you that question because of the question that will come after that question. So the difficult part of that question is the question that comes after the simple question, so to say. Now, identify specimen N. Specimen N is a mango fruit, and you are asked the next question: what is the reason why you think that specimen is what you called? And then you can't just go on and say it is green. So many fruits are green. You can't say it is round. Wow, we have so many round fruits. So you discover that you don't know what to do. You don't know what to say, or some sort of, if you didn't read or prepare, or you're not exposed to answering such questions. So I classified Irish potato as stem tuber. Why? Listen very carefully. Because number one, I saw that it has a swollen stem, and swollen stem is the tuber. So you could say presence of a swollen stem or tuber. That's one. And also you see a bud, so presence of buds. You also say presence of scale leaves, and then presence of lenticels. These are the reasons why I am sure that specimen C is Irish potato. you can do the same for mango, orange. So don't just go about saying the things can be confused for another specimen, but you have to go deep. So listen carefully and then you will not be lost. Okay, so that's the reason for classifying Irish potato under stem tuber. Now, having said that, before I forget, let's class onion also. So class of onion bulb is monocotyledonea, right? And then what's the reason for classing it there? Because I see elongated or long leaf, shooting out, and then I see presence of adventitious roots or fibrous roots. All right. Now, if you're looking at your onion on the table in your exam hall, and then you're asked to draw, so I put up a diagram, and then you see, and this is how you would label it. All right. So you label these parts, and then these are the labels. So the part labeled I is the foliage leaf, and II is the scale leaf or the membranous leaf. III is the fleshy storage, as the fleshy part, the storage, the succulent leaves, and IV is the auxiliary or lateral bud. Then V is the stem, right? VI is the adventitious root, which is obvious. That's the fibrous root. And remember, the part of plant in which the food is stored is the fleshy or the storage or the succulent leaf. That's the part labeled III. All right. Now, what are the functions of the scale leaf? What is the function of the fleshy or storage or succulent leaf, like I've already mentioned? And then what's the function of the fibrous roots or the adventitious roots? The scale leaf is for protection of the organ, right? I've already said that. And then the fleshy or succulent or storage leaf is for storage of food, while the adventitious roots is for absorption of water or mineral salts from the soil. Yes. Okay. Now the next set of specimens is specimen D and E. So we're going to compare specimen D, which is bean seedling, a seedling of beans, and with specimen E, which is guinea corn seedling. Okay, so these seedlings will be brought in a pot or any kind of container. All right, and you will see them. You should be able to identify. All right, so let's go. Now, supposing you see the seedling, you know a normal seedling should look like. It has grown from the nursery or wherever you want to put it, but it's not developed into a full-grown plant yet. All right, so let's assume you've seen it. So I'm going to put up my own on the screen, and then you will see how it should look like. Perhaps you're asked to draw this how it should look like, and then you may be asked also to label the parts. So let's look at the parts and then label them. Perhaps give the functions of the parts we label. Now the part labeled I is the leaf vein. The leaf vein. The leaf vein conducts water or mineral salts or manufactured food. That's its function. And the part labeled II is the epicotyle. And this epicotyle supports the leaves. It carries water or food throughout the plant. Then the part labeled III is the lateral roots or the secondary roots. Okay. Then the parts labeled IV is the tap roots or the primary roots or the main roots. And this tap root or primary root or main root anchors the plant firmly to the soil. Also helps in absorbing water and mineral salts. All right. Then the part labeled V is the tester or the seed coat, and it protects the seed from fungi, from bacteria, from spoilage organisms like and insects. Right? The part labeled VI is a radicle. The radicle grows downwards to form the root system. Right? Then we have the part labeled VII, which is the cotyledon. The cotyledon stores food, so it's a source of energy for germination. We have that part labeled VIII, which is the foliage leaf or the plumule. Okay, so it's not arranged, it's mixed up, so don't assume that it's labeled according to how it would grow. All right, so just look at the parts, know how to label them so that when you draw it in your exam hall, you know how to label them. All right. Okay, so what is the type of germination that is portrayed in this case now of bean seedling? We're going to sit and discuss this now because that's what will differentiate bean seedling from guinea corn seedling, the method of germination, the type of germination. So the type of germination in bean seedling is apigeal germination, while the type of germination in guinea corn is hypogeal germination. So let's discuss. What is hypogeal germination? A hypogeal germination is a form of seed germination that occurs mainly for both monocot and dicot seeds actually. Now the cotyledons will stay inside the soil. That's the difference. In hypogeal germination, the cotyledon will stay inside the soil. Like in your corn, if you plant corn, the corn stays inside the soil, and then after some days the part that grows out, and the corn still remains inside the soil. But bean is not like that. Okay, bean comes out of the soil. All right, so hypogeal germination is a type where the cotyledon stays inside the soil because of quicker growth and development in the epicotyle's length. All right, hypogeal germination is derived from an ancient Greek word which refers to below the ground. In case you are asked, I don't want to leave any stone untouched this time. So let's see the process in hypogeal germination. So number one, the cotyledon, which is a significant part of the embryo of the seed, will stay inside or under the soil. The plumule, which is the rudimentary shoot tip that arises from the seed embryo, will grow above the ground. And then the plumule rises and pushes itself upwards, and then this process continues with epicotyle, which is the seed system that stays above the cotyledon and rapidly elongates into its structure and shape. All right, so that's the process in hypogeal germination. That's the process in the type of germination that occurs in guinea corn seedling. But for the bean seedling, which we say is apigeal germination, that's the opposite of hypogeal germination. What is the process? In apigeal germination, of course, we've said already that the cotyledon comes out of the soil. So the process of apigeal germination is that the testa will split and the radicle will emerge. This radicle grows downwards and the lateral roots will appear or develop. The hypocotyle will elongate, pulling the cotyledons above the ground, and the testa is left in the soil. The hypocotyle is bent over, carrying the cotyledons, which are still closed, not open yet, and it's closed to protect the plumule. The hypocotyle will straighten later, and then the cotyledon will split open, and from there the foliage leaves will emerge. The epicotyle will grow out, showing the apical bud, and the foliage leaves will open. That's the process in apigeal germination. All right, now in case you are asked how the foliage leaf how the cotyledon is carried above the soil, then you could say that the bent over or hook-like hypocotyle helps in doing that. It straightens out, it elongates and carries the cotyledons upwards. All right, now the part that stores food is the cotyledon. Okay, part that stores food in bean seedling or whatever seedling is the cotyledon, right? The food substance stored is starch, as carbohydrates, can be protein and oil also. Okay, now what's the conditions that are necessary for this germination process to occur? The seed must be viable, and you should have moisture or water in the soil, and so air should be able to enter the soil. So it's the aeration of the soil must be good, air, oxygen, and warmth or suitable temperature is required, and sunlight or light. Okay, all right, so we've discussed specimens D and E, which is guinea corn or bean seedling, and guinea corn seedling. But remember that you should know how to draw them. I should draw some parts, at least some parts. The seedling itself, when you see, you should be able to know how to draw what you are seeing to look like that, at least. Okay, and also remember that guinea corn is not like the maize. It's not like the corn you eat, not the recent, not the ones that are common. Guinea corn grows to look like this. Guinea corn grows to look like this. So be careful when you are imagining it, because you can be drawing something else or seeing something else, or let's assume that it's not there, because it's not all the specimens that maybe the questions may be set. So let's just know how to draw them and know what we are dealing with. So you're not just here guinea corn and your mind is telling you another corn. All right. So we move to the next specimen. Specimen F. Specimen F is pigeon's head with the neck. So the head of a pigeon with the neck attached to it. So imagine a dead pigeon and they cut off the neck. The head, which is still attached to the neck. The head is attached to the neck. Yes, so, and that will be your specimen F, and you be asked some questions. All right. Now, pigeon is classified like this. The kingdom is Animalia, and the phylum is Chordata. The subphylum is Vertebrata, and the class is Aves. Genus is Columba, and species is Livia. So it's Columba livia. And in case you're asked about the habitat of pigeons, pigeons can live almost everywhere, anywhere. Well, except the driest parts of the earth, like the Antarctica and the high Arctic. So they are widely, distributed in the world, like Europe, Asia, Northern African regions. Okay, so they can nest in any place, like rock cliffs, buildings, open shrubs, so many places. So they don't have issues with their habitat. But now we are not asked, the specimen is the head attached to the neck. So let's look at the head, what we should be considering when we look at the head of this bird. Right, so the head is comparatively small, maybe spherical, and situated at the anterior most part of the body. Okay, it has beaks. Has beak, and beak is present anteriorly and are formed by the elongation of upper and lower jaw. They are devoid of teeth. At the base of the beak, we have the external nostrils, which is overhung by a swollen, sensitive, soft skin, which is called cere. If you call it cere, it's your own. Cere. All right. Now, it also have eyes attached to the head also that are prominent. You can see it clearly. The eyes are round and laterally present. Okay, eyes are protected by an upper eyelid, also with a lower eyelid, and a transparent nictitating membrane. Okay, so the posterior to the eyes are the ear openings, which lead to the tympanic membrane by some short tube. Right, so the external auditory mitosis, so we call this a short tube. The neck is flexible, right? Of course, most birds have flexible neck, right? Um, the neck is flexible, cylindrical, and long, which connects the head with the trunk. The trunk is the other part of the body which is not attached to the specimen we are given. All right, so that's just a um, a little flow chart, a little explanation of what you may be asked in pigeon's head. Okay, but from this diagram you should know how to draw just a normal bird, the head of a bird. If you're asked to draw, remember to label it well. Has a head, has an eye, has that soft stuff above the beak, care, or care, and the nostrils. It has the beak. It has the ear, and then the neck. Don't go and label the trunk, because you're asked to draw the head, or you may be asked to draw the full bird, I don't know. But if you're asked to draw the head, please label on the parts that are found in the head, and know how to label. We label to the sides, not scattered, and don't allow arrow lines, arrowheads, or arrow lines to the arrows to cross each other. Okay, just label neatly to the side. All right. Okay, now we move to specimen G. Specimen G and H is what we'll be considering together. Specimen G is atlas vertebrae of a rabbit, and specimen H is the lumbar vertebrae of a rabbit. So basically we're just saying specimen G is atlas vertebrae and specimen H is lumbar vertebrae. So we're dealing with vertebrae now. So of course we know already that atlas is attached to the cervical vertebrae. Okay, so we'll go straight to atlas. So what are the characteristics of the atlas? The atlas vertebrae has a large neural canal. Number 2, it has a flat and broad transverse process. Number 3, it has that the neural spine is very short or is absent. Neural spine is absent or short or absent. And then the centrum is absent also. It doesn't have a centrum. And then it has a vertebraterial canal, which is for the passage of blood vessels. Okay, so what's the function of the atlas? The atlas allows the head to nod on it. So the head nods on the atlas. So it permits the head to nod. That is, it permits nodding of head. That's because it fits into the occipital condyles of the skull. Right? So look at the diagram of atlas and know how to draw an atlas, at least to label the neural spine, the neural arc, and the vertebraterial canal, the facets for the occipital condyle, the odontoid fossa, or the cavity, the wing-shaped cervical rib, and then the neural canal and the transverse ligaments. Should be able to draw and label at least the anterior view of that atlas vertebrae correctly. Okay, and when drawing, make sure that your lines are clear, because clarity of lines is attract marks, right? And draw according to size. If you are given 6 to 8 cm, please draw within that range. All right, and the details, we should have the vertebraterial canal shown, the reduced spine, neural spinal spine, the cervical rib, the transverse process should show, and you should label all these parts I've mentioned: the neural spine, the vertebraterial canal, the transverse process, the cervical rib, that's the cervical rib here. Then the neural canal, the neural arc, the facets, the odontoid fossa, and the cavity. You must label all these parts to have full marks in your diagram. Then the lumbar vertebrae are found in the upper abdominal region. Okay, so what are the characteristics of the lumbar vertebrae? It has a large, flattened transverse process. Also, it has a broad and flat neural spine. It has a large and thick centrum. So it has a centrum, and it has a well-developed pre and post zygapophysis. It also has two extra paired projections, okay, for attachment of abdominal muscles. Okay, that's the anapophysis and the metapophysis. Those are the two extra paired projections that is there for attachment of abdominal muscles. All right, those are the characteristics of lumbar vertebrae. But what are the functions of the lumbar vertebrae? The lumbar vertebrae provides attachment for the abdominal muscles, of course, through the projections. And then they bear the considerable weight of the body of the animal, as the rabbit now. All right, remember to know how to draw them and label. And if you're asked to differentiate between the atlas vertebrae and the lumbar vertebrae, you can say that the atlas vertebrae has reduced neural spine, while the lumbar vertebrae, the neural spine is broad and massive. Also, the atlas vertebrae, the centrum is absent, like we pointed out, but in the lumbar vertebrae, the centrum is present and well developed. All right. Okay. Now we move to the next set of specimens. Specimen I is cactus plants, and specimen J is water lettuce. We're going to considerably compare cactus plants and water lettuce, though we may also have to put in specimen M, which is Tridax fruit, in the comparison, but mainly specimen I and J is what we're dealing with now: cactus plants and water lettuce. All right. So cactus plant is Opuntia, Opuntia. Now, what are the habitats of these water lettuce and cactus plants? Cactus plants grows in deserts, in savannas, in dry or arid regions, along the sea coasts. All right, but water lettuce grows on the surface of ponds, surface of lakes, surface of streams, so surface of the water. All right, and what are the observable features of water lettuce? Water lettuce has a broad aerial leaves, has numerous adventitious roots, and the leaves and stem are green and slender. We have a slender stem or stolon. We have hairs on the surface of the leaves. Then there's rosette arrangement of the leaves and spongy leaves also. Right? Then for cactus, the leaves are modified into spines, but then they have succulent stems. Then they have thick, waxy cuticle on the stems. They are green and chlorophyllous, and also flattened stem. All right. So in water lettuce, the broad aerial leaves or the rosette arrangement of the leaves makes it buoyant. Okay, so to receive maximum sunlight for photosynthesis, and the numerous adventitious roots or the root hairs helps for absorption of water and mineral salts, and also aids flotation. All right, and we said that the leaves are green and chlorophyllous. So this is for photosynthesis purposes, right? And the slender stem or stolon offers minimum resistance to water currents. If the stem was big and thick, water would easily push it, but since it's small and thin, water can pass around it and move on. So the slender stem helps to resist water currents. Okay. The hairs on the surface of the leaves prevent water from blocking the stomata, which helps photosynthesis or respiration. The buds on the stem or stolon are for vegetative propagation. Then the spongy leaves aid buoyancy. All right. Okay, so for cactus plants, the flattened stems help to receive maximum light, right? And the leaves modified into spines to prevent water loss. So water does not easily leave the plant because it's in spine form, it's modified into spines. Then the succulent stems is for water storage. Succulent stem stores the water, and then the position of the thick waxy corticulon stem is to reduce water loss by transpiration, and the stems are green and chlorophyllous for photosynthesis. All right, so these are the characteristics of cactus plants and water lettuce. Okay, so really remember that the spine in cactus plants is to reduce water loss, and the succulent stems or branches is for conserving water. Now, what are the adaptive features of cactus plants for escaping predators? Of course, the spine on the branches won't allow you to go touch it, so animals don't want to go there and get pricked. So the spine on the branches help in escaping predators. And then the distasteful sap, the sap tastes bitter, so you don't even want to eat it, and you leave it to grow so it escapes you. And then that's it, the adaptive feature of the cactus plants. So also remember that in the cactus plant, the stem is flat and the leaves are modified to spine, doesn't have flowers, and doesn't have roots. Okay, you can go on and still study more why water lettuce will not grow in the habitat of cactus plants, or while cactus plants will not grow in the habitat of water lettuce. Questions may come in different ways, so you should be able to attack them. Okay, so we move to the next set of specimens, which are the last set. Specimen K, which is tomato fruit. Specimen L is palm fruit. Specimen M is tridax fruit, and specimen N is mango fruit. Okay, all right, then specimen O is flamboyant flower. So we discuss specimen K, L, M, and N together because they are all fruits. Then lastly, we'll discuss flamboyant flower, which is specimen O. So tomato fruits, palm fruits, tridax fruit, and mango fruits, all fruits, and they're all ripe. All right, so let's discuss. As you may already know, a fruit is a mature fertilized ovary of a flower containing one or more seeds. In certain plants, fertilization is not necessary for fruit formation. Okay, but let's just go straight to classifying the fruits, right? So we can have what is called true and false fruits. A true fruit is a type of fruit that develops solely from a fertilized ovary. It contains pericarp and seed or seeds. Example is mango, orange, and cowpea. All right, and then the false fruit is a type of fruit that is formed from ovary and other flowery or floral parts as well. Example of false fruits are apple, pineapple, and cashew. So the mango we are dealing with here, which is part of our specimen, is a true fruit. All right. Okay, so we can also have simple, aggregate, and composite fruits. All right. A simple fruit develops from a flower with a single ovary. The ovary may be, monocarpous, as in cowpea and maize, or it can be syncarpous, as in okra, tomato, and pawpaw. So our specimen K, tomato fruit, is a simple fruit. All right. And we can also have fleshy and dry fruits. So a fleshy fruit is a type of fruit in which the whole pericarp, or at least one of its layers, is thick. It's soft and also fleshy, or you call it succulent, especially when it is ripe. And remember, the fruits given to you in the specimen are ripe. So what are the types of fleshy fruits? Number one, we have drupe, drupe, drupe. In drupe, the pericarp consists of three layers, which is the epicarp, the mesocarp, and the endocarp. The epicarp is thin. The mesocarp may be fibrous, example in coconuts, and oil palm, the nuts, okay, like in our case here. Or they can be also fleshy, like in mango, while the endocarp is hard and stony. In mango, the fleshy mesocarp is the edible part, and the endocarp encloses the seed. Alright, so mango is a drupe. Remember the other time we said that mango is a true fruit. Yes, so mango is a true fruit, and it's also a fleshy fruit. And what type of fleshy fruit? It is a drupe. So you classify mango as a drupe. Alright. We can also have another type of fleshy fruit called berry. Berry. So in berry, the pericarp consists of three layers, which are thin epicarp, succulent mesocarp, and the endocarp. The endocarp in berry is not hard and stony as in drupe, as the case of mango. It's not as the case of mango. So in berries, the endocarp is soft and fleshy. So example of berries is tomato. Orange is also there, but so I'm just going straight to the parts that concerns the specimens we have here. Okay, so I've said specimen K, tomato fruit, is a berry. It's a fleshy fruit, and it's classified into berries. And then I've classified palm fruits as also a fleshy fruit, which is maybe you put it under drupe. And I've classified specimen N, mango fruit, as a drupe. Okay, now let's move on. There are similarities between drupe and berry, as you can almost imagine that you can almost see some similarities between tomato and mango. So in case you are asked to find similarity between specimen K, tomato, and specimen N, mango, you see that both of them have a fleshy or succulent mesocarp, and both of them have a thin epicarp, and both of them have seeds. Whether the seed is big in one and the other is small, they are seeds. So that's the similarity. Both of them have seeds. Okay, so but differences is that in berry, like the tomato case now, berry has many seeds, but drupe has only one seed. So when I say berry, you're thinking of tomato. I say drupe, you're thinking of mango. All right. So and also in berry, in tomato, the mesocarp and endocarp are fused, but in mango, that's a drupe, the mesocarp and the endocarp are not fused. Okay. Also in tomato, the mesocarp and the endocarp fuse to form soft pulp, while in mango, it has a hard endocarp. It's not a soft pulp. Tomato has endocarp that is edible. The endocarp is the edible part, while in mango the endocarp is not edible. And in tomato, the mesocarp is edible, but in mango, the mesocarp may be eaten. Some people eat it, so maybe or may not be edible. So I've given you I've compared and contrasted. I've given you similarities and differences between specimen K, tomato, and specimen N, mango. All right. Remember, they are ripe. If you want to have more differences, depending on how you observe it. Remember, there are some mango that is ripe and still looks green. Okay, so be careful when you're using color. If you have enough points, try not to use color to differentiate them. We have some ripe mango that are red. We have some that are yellow, prominently yellow. Okay, so if you want to use color, you can say mango fruits is yellow or red or whatever in color. The ripe one, because it's ripe, will be given, and the tomato is red or yellow in color. All right. Okay, so let's move on. Now also know that there are, as much as there are fleshy fruits, There are also dry fruits. So dry fruit is a type of fruit in which the pericarp becomes dry, hard, and woody or fibrous when the fruit ripens. Alright, so there are many types. But we class dry fruits into dehiscent and indehiscent fruits. Okay, so practically all fleshy fruits are indehiscent, while dry fruits may be dehiscent or indehiscent. All right, we're going to go straight to dry indehiscent fruits. All right, so dry indehiscent fruits are fruits which do not split open when mature or ripe, but usually fall to the ground, where the pericarp eventually decays to release the seeds. Okay, so such fruits are often very small and are produced in large numbers. So, what are the examples of dry indehiscent fruits? We have the nuts, we have the caryopsis, and the cypsela. I'm going to focus on the cypsela because we are going to the specimens we have here. Now, the cypsela is a small, simple true fruit. It develops from a superior monocarpous ovary and contains only one seed. The pericarp is free from the seed coat, and each fruit is triangular in structure and developed from a single ovary. At maturity, you see the corolla drops off and the hairy calyx becomes very prominent and forms a parachute, that's the pappus. They spread out on top of the fruits and cause it to be easily buoyed in the air and carried from place to place. The seed coat is hard and does not split open on drying. And the examples of this cypsela, CYPSELA, examples are the Tridax fruits. So that's our specimen M, Tridax fruit. Alright, so Tridax fruit is a cypsela. Okay, Tridax fruit is a cypsela. And the mode of dispersion of Tridax, like we've just said here, that it can be carried from place to place by the wind. So it's dispersed by wind. Okay, well, in case you're asked what dispersal means, dispersal is the transfer of a seed or fruit from the parent plant to other places where the seed may germinate. So when I said that Tridax fruit is dispersed by wind, it means that the wind will carry the fruits, the small tiny fruits, blow them in different places, and that's like you planting them in different places. So the dispersal is by wind. Why is dispersal of fruit and seed important? Okay, number one, it helps to prevent overcrowding of plants. So when they spread like that, they grow in different areas and not just in one place. They were falling all to the same place. Also, it prevents undesirable competition for space. They are spread out. They're not in one place competing for space. Also competing for light, water, and nutrients. Alright, also it prevents diseases from spreading among plant species. And also it results in colonization of new areas with new plants. Also, it results in adaptation to an adverse or harsh or unsuitable environment. Okay, so the agents of dispersal of seeds and fruits are mainly wind, animals, water, human, an explosive mechanism in rare cases. Okay, also if you're asked what agents of dispersal of seed is or whatever, or fruit, it is the means by which seeds and fruits are removed from parent plants to other places. That means is the agent of dispersal. All right, okay, so fruits that are light will be easily dispersed by wind or air. All right, so and even more, these Tridax fruits have parachutes like tufts, or that's the pappus, and this is, you hear parachute like, so helps it travel far. So such fruit floats in the air for a long time before landing on the ground. Okay, so the wind carries that one easily, so that's a very good example of dispersal by wind, the tree ducks, fruits. Then animals can also help in dispersing. Say, let's say animals are passing and their body, the seeds or the fruits fall on their body that are hairy, and then they carry it to different areas. They have dispersed it too. Or let's even say they ate it. They ate the edible parts, and when they ate the edible parts with the seeds can germinate. Like quiver seeds can germinate, and pepper seeds and all that. They don't germinate. So when those animals pass out feces, the seeds come out, and then so you see the seeds and the fruits. The seeds have been dispersed to different areas through that. And water can also disperse, like some fruits that are on water and falls in water. Also, humans can eat them, like the mango, like the tomato. All right. Humans can eat these fruits and then throw these seeds in places where they can grow, and it becomes a means of dispersal too. So if I want to go again with the Tridax fruit, I would say Tridax fruit has a feathery purpose that traps air, and it increases the surface area of the fruit with respect to the volume, so reduces the weight of the fruit. It is dispersed by wind. All right, it has a tough or dry pericarp that protects the seed embryo. Okay, so dry pericarp, hairy epicarp, pappus present, calyx, and is on top of the fruit. The calyx modified into pappus, and small fruits, light in weight, the fruits, and I think brownish in color, if you want. And we said that mango is drupe, tomato is berry, tridax is cypsela. All right. Remember what I said. If you are asked, classify something, and then you may also be asked, why do you classify? Why are you classifying it that way? So it's berry because it has a fleshy pericarp with many seeds embedded in it, and that's tomato. Tridax is cypsela because the fruit bears a hairy calyx. That's hairy pappus, or the parachute is present, and you see that and know, oh, it's cypsela. And also has dry single-seeded fruits. Okay, so remember that, how to classify, and also give reason why you're classifying it that way. Now, if you're asked generally what are the importance of fruit to humans, fruit is a source of income. People sell fruit, so source of employment. And then the mesocarp of fruit is used for making fire or fuel. So you can say it's a fuel. The mesocarp is also used for scrubbing, and fruit produces oil for cooking, or for lubrication also, or for cosmetics. You've heard mango seed, you've heard avocado seed, and oil, and all that. Then fruit also, the endocarp is used as a container, right? In some fruits. And then the mesocarp is used for making doormats. You've seen, and foot mat also. Then coconut has milk, so that's milk, and coconut milk is medicinal. Fruits are also used as food or for drinks, your orange drinks and apple drink. Food as in coconut rice, also confectionery. So if you're asked generally importance of fruits to man, there you have it. So the last specimen O, is flamboyant flower, like I said. And flamboyant flower is gotten from flamboyant flame tree, which is also called flame of the forest. Okay, of course you should know how to draw the flamboyant, the ovary at least of a flower, or the part showing the ovary, the flowery part of this flamboyant flower. Alright, it contains the style, the ovary, the stigma, the anther, the filaments, the petal, the ovule, the sepal, and the pedicel. You should be able to draw that, because what you may be given may not look like a fresh one. Remember, even if it's old, you should still know the structure. So it's on your screen. You'll be able to draw it and label it correctly. Alright. Now, the type of placentation in flamboyant flower is marginal placentation. So in marginal placentation, the ovules are attached to the placenta, which is along one margin of the ovary. Okay, so other examples of flowers that have this marginal placentation as a kind of placentation is Pride of Barbados, okay, and Delonix regia. So flamboyant flower undergoes a kind of placentation called marginal placentation. Then if you are asked what placentation is the arrangement of the ovules within the ovary. Okay, the arrangement of the ovules within the ovary. Alright, so we've done a full specimen analysis for the NECO Biology 2024. Do well to go over it again and again and again to understand better. And then if you have questions, please remember to drop them on the comment section, and I will be able to answer them and give you a clearer understanding. Remember to subscribe to this channel and share it, like the video, share it to your friends so that they can prepare as well. Thank you.